Off you go.
The purpose of the mastermind is to learn leadership, build teams, and create multiple sources of income together.
We are here to inspire and challenge each other to reach and exceed goals.
Oops. Each member is committed to their own success as well as to the success of every member of the group.
We are committed to meeting in person or virtually for 1 hour every week.
We are present. There is no multitasking or distractions during meetings.
Who was number 6?
Kirsty?
Kirsty.
You there,
No.
Kirsty?
Kirsty, we can't hear you, so you might need to...
Can you hear me now?
There you go, yeah.
Sorry. We are collaborative. We listen without interrupting, lecturing or judging.
We celebrate each other's successes without jealousy.
Tali?
We are honest and participate by giving thoughtful feedback.
We are open and listen to different perspectives without being defensive or offering excuses.
We trust fellow members enough to share fully. Thanks for that, man. You just changed the slide.
No, it was because the recording just had uploaded, so it dropped the screen off. But carry on, yeah.
I'll do that again. We trust fellow members enough to share fully.
Well, Ricky, I expected you memorized this by now.
Well, I have pretty much.
We are focused, but we also think it's important to have fun during meetings.
We are real and authentic. This is a no BS zone.
We allow ourselves to become completely aligned with each other and the high forces, one mind, one soul, one love.
Noble Goldman International is a conscious, aware and engaged global community of abundance and freedom creators.
Our mission is to create 1 million millionaires who are free from the time for money paradigm. We focus on creating multiple streams of income through masterminding, team building, and the effective utilization of internet-based platforms.
The mastermind becomes an opportunity for self-mastery, where the self-transcendent shift from the me to the we to the us occurs. As congruence and engagement increases, the world's consciousness is then raised one meaningful and inspired relationship at a time.
Beautiful. Well done, crew. Fantastic. So, the accountability task that we had for the last week was to get through chapters 2 and 3 now of Outwitting the Devil on the audio. So obviously I know, Lloyd, that you're, have you listened to that, Lloyd, or you read the book?
I read the book a few times, yeah. Well, not recently, I do, but I tag along and hopefully some of it has been retained.
That's all good. So the idea is for the first 22 minutes. So we'll take it to the half-hour point, then we'll cover it as a group. So I'm just going to do the maths. Yeah. So if we basically have two minutes each, I reckon on the time. So maybe 2.5. What do you reckon there? What, 5, 10, 15? Yeah, 2.5 minutes. So what we found yesterday on the Gold Star call was that to cover chapters 2 and 3 was pretty intense, especially because chapter 3, that's when the interview with the devil starts. So it's like, whoa, there's some serious gold immediately. However, the focus is to do your best in regards to wrapping it up into basically a paragraph of what you got from chapters 2 and 3, and also how you can implement it into your life, which was what Aunt Jay suggested last week. how are we implementing what we're learning into our lives from those chapters? So stick to the numbers that we had before, we will go through. So just summarize what chapters 2 and 3 you got from it, and then how you're going to implement that into your life. I'll get the stopwatch going, especially because we know the first one out the box is Ricky. All right, champ, off you go.
So there were so many things out of chapters 2 and 3. So I'll just bullet point them because I've got loads of things written down here. But you need to be, you need to basically experience the dark before the light. So in other words, everybody goes through failures before they reach successes. That's just part of life. If you're positive enough, your subconscious will always find a way to do things, as long as you're keeping focused on that one thing. Failure and temporary defeat will eventually lead to success, which is really what I said right at the beginning, I suppose. Make prayer part of your life. Be grateful for what you have now, because a lot of people aren't. We're all dreaming about what we're going to have tomorrow. So gratitude, practice gratitude. To change your status, change your belief. Have faith in what you're believing in, whatever that happens to be. That was chapter 2. Chapter 3, I suppose, was looking at things like great leaders surround themselves with masterminds. We develop and grow through masterminding with other people. We can't do things by ourselves. So it's so important to be around the right kind of people. What else? We're talking about cigarettes and habits and addictions and stuff, and whether some were good, some were bad, or some were both good and bad. But everybody's got their own little devils to deal with,
You've got
so,
1 minute.
Is that my time? Is it?
1 minute to go.
Oh, Christ, what else can I say for 1 minute?
Well, how are you going to implement that into your life?
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm already implementing it, I guess. I mean, I've learned so much and taken on so much in the last year as being a Gold Star member, which before I became a Noble Goldman Gold Star member, a lot of this stuff was just kind of going in one ear and out the other. Now, I'm not saying I'm the most attentive guy and I take things in first time, but I'm already looking at gratitude, understanding that you got to fail before you succeed, which, quite frankly, I've failed loads of times. But yeah, just keeping on practicing what you've been learning and practicing for the last 12 months. It's not, you cannot change things overnight. It's a gradual process. And sometimes you'll slip back, but then you'll move forward again. So just keep on the journey is the thing. Just keep on the path. Keep surrounding yourself with positive people.
Cool, Ricardo. Thank you very much, Brian.
All right, it's me next. I just need to think a little bit because I don't want to repeat what Ricky said, which I agree with a lot of things and the points that he stood out. For me, what is really interesting is that I listen to it and it's like I'm looking around. Okay, who's speaking to me? Because at the moment, this is so relevant for me. It is such a nice confirmation, and I think I said that last week already as well. It just gives me such an energy boost to put it into practice and keep really cementing those habits in. I mean, I'm just over what's it now? 2 weeks into logging with Noble Goldman, my progress, and I it's not a subconscious habit yet. So it just really confirms to stay focused, to do your gratitude, and really, there's an incredible confirmation, and in that what I'm doing and the way I'm doing it right, because we all had the failures and we all got ridiculed. I mean, this is never going to work. Oh my gosh, I've heard this so many times. And then nobody says a peep when it actually did work, so that's how it goes. And then you kind of start believing or doubting yourself. And to hear it in that form, it is super nice. I super enjoy it. It gives me great motivation. I can't wait for chapter 4, which I had to listen to yesterday. And that is so true. I see it in myself, and I see it in my clients, and I see it in family members. And, you know, just to have that really up to date, what is relevant for my life is giving me tremendous joy. And how do I implement it? Yeah, I just keep going. I keep going with the systems that I put in place, and focus. And if it's 11 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night, I log my progress so that I can see it visually, you know, and do the affirmation. Yes, I'm on track. And it's paying off. The doors are opening actually so super fast that the structure is really, really important. So it makes me happy, it makes me motivated, it makes me energized. That's how I deal with it. And Martin, I wanted to ask, can we share the link to the book?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I always share, and I've got a ton of people that need to listen to it now.
Yeah, encourage them. Just the full audio books on in that first comment always.
I saw that, yeah. I would love to blast it with speakers into the neighborhood, you know. It's like, wake up, people.
Great share there, Angie.
Yeah.
Lisa.
Cool. This is one of my favorite books, and it's one that I listen to over and over again. But what I'm not good at is listening and paying attention. I just have it on while I'm walking, while I'm exercising, whatever, and it just loops over and over and over again. So it can be hard for me to know which bit came from which, you know, which relates to which chapter, because for me it's just one whole thing. But anyway, here goes. So the thing that Ricky talked about is, you know, that failure, that feeling of, and this is where I've been for a little while now, and it's been really good to come back to the book, because it resonated the first time, and each time you listen to it, it resonates a little bit more. And is this the right book for now, or what? There isn't a better book for this now in the world, is there? But it's very much being challenged by teaching all this stuff and yet not seeing the results myself. And knowing, as somebody said on the other call, feeling like almost vindicated, because that's what Napoleon went through, and feeling that, okay, this is okay, it's just part of the process. I just need to knuckle down, trust the process, just keep going, don't give up, just keep going, and it will all come together. And I think that's my biggest takeaway from that, is that, okay, this is just part of the process. It's not failure. It's just part of the process, and all I have to do is stay on the process. I've been on it long enough. I know I just have to keep going. So for me, it's about just coming back and centering. As you know, I've got stuff going on at the moment, and letting that take its time, do its thing, and then recentering after that. With lesson 3, something that came up on the other call, and I listened to the recording, it was about they were justifying different addictions. And for me, it's not about whether an addiction is good or bad. It's whether it is clouding our judgment, whether it is numbing us, whether it is creating a distraction. And I think for most of us, whatever it is, whether we label it a good or a bad one, if it's not keeping us centered, and we can be very focused, but if we're not focused on the right things, which is us, if we're focused on what's out there, then that becomes an addiction rather than what's in here. So I don't think it matters what the addiction is. Mine at the moment is freaking social media, because I get on to do something, and then it takes over, and it's gone, and it doesn't help that I run the business on there. So thank you for that. But yeah, that's my takeaway on how to acknowledge that social media is taking away from what I need to be doing and where I need to be putting my focus. So thank you.
Yeah, cool, great share, Lisa. Thank you. I'm number 4 now. Yeah. Okay. So, chapter 2. My little paragraph sentence here is: I make an impression on everyone I meet, as does everyone I meet makes a great impression on me. There is a great power in my network. Building relationships helps to open doors in the present as well as the future. And this is really a powerful place where it helped me to really see what I've created. And we were just actually having a conversation similar around this on the previous call. about the power of those relationships. And I've really started saying this a lot, more so since I've been in Noble Goldman. I've realized this, and I've been saying that money and businesses don't last, but relationships do. And this is now where we have the opportunity to build conscious relationships rather than in network marketing, which a lot of us do. Is we're taught to get out there and it's a numbers game and recruit as much as we can. And if they say no, it's not for them. It's never a no, it's a not yet. But it's like, well, would you like to just be walking along the street and somebody comes along and slaps you and then walks off and slaps somebody else and slaps somebody else? How would you feel? And that's what I was taking in there and going, well, how am I actually implementing this into my life? Am I building those relationships? And a good one for this was today. I had a clear goal. I am getting these videos finished. And Ricky messaged and said, do you want to catch up? Now, I know catching up with Ricky is not going to be a fast experience. But I was like, and I knew that there's so much we would talk about and share. But I'm like, the relationship with Ricky is more important than me finishing these videos. And that was something that I took a step back and embraced there. And then then moving on to chapter 3, what I wrote down here is, Your Majesty controls 98% of the people across the world. But what's important to understand as well is that Your Majesty consists of 50% of the mind of people, as well as 50% of the atom. And therefore, there's the other 50% of what we would class as good. So at any given moment, we're going to be shifting from one to the other, and that's perfectly fine. And to understand that when I'm having those challenges where things aren't necessarily going right, there's been many times in my life where things have been going really, really well. So to know that things are going to be going very, very well, literally within a split second, I can shift that whole thing and start moving forward. So that's what I was taking, and then being able to reflect to understand how to move forward with these. So there's my 2.5 minutes.
So I think I'm next, Martin. So in chapter 2, I just started taking notes, and there were so many golden nuggets in there for me. I have about 10 pages of notes on there. It was like just one thing after another that related to me so far. I think for me, it was, he was in a place where he had lost his courage, but he had that absolute faith that everything was going to turn out right, and the money for his suite of rooms that he'd booked himself into was going to turn up. He didn't know how or when or where, but he had that absolute faith. And it was like right at the start was a new world is revealed to me. And that's almost like when you realize that the feeling of impossibility leaves you. And it's like, this is no longer impossible, it's doable. And when you get that realization, you are lifted by your own enthusiasm and happiness and joy, because it gives you that platform to leap from. Whereas I love the fact that he said he was, 2 days with very little sleep, trying to come up with a name for his business associate. But it was in the moment when he went into a doze and relaxed that the name slipped into his mind. I love that. And I think how I implement that in my life is there's often, I want to be further than where I am, and I'm impatient. So it's taught me to slow down, because better quality answers will come to me when I'm in a better mindset of peace and tranquility, rather than rushing around and in haste.
Great share there, Martina, and with 10 seconds to go. Beautiful. Kirsty.
Wow, me going after Martina, that was so beautiful. Yeah, what I got out of the book, one of the things that struck in my mind very clearly was that I think I can read this book forever. I can read it, reread it. I think I'm always going to need it. I'll always have this book in my life. The messages, as I grow and as I change, it's going to be focusing on different parts of my life, different things that I recognize in me that, I mean, I either socially conditioned or whatever, that I can change. And he said in chapter 2, he was talking about that we must change our beliefs first, and wishing and hoping and wanting, and it's not the same as a belief. But I guess I go further, like Wayne Dyer, Dr. Wayne Dyer said, that it's got to even be stronger than a belief. It's got to be a knowing, you know, and that's when things change, when you know that, you know, like I think it was Gary that said about the goals, you know, write them in the present tense, and like you've already achieved it. It's already a part of your life. Even go as far as celebrating that success already. But one of the other things that Noble Goldman said here, he said, the devil hangs out, has his way with you in two different ways. One, that we can ignite your other self to conquer the devil inside of our life. We can do that. But the other part is that we can also empower the devil in our other self to achieve great things that before we had fear about, and we can conquer that. We can empower the devil. I need to spend time with that. I wrote that down because it really stood out for me, the two different ways of using that other side of us. And I love the way in chapter, I think it was still chapter 2, you talked about our birthright that we can claim, you know, that it's our birthright to conquer the devil, basically, that powerful part of ourselves, you know. I think I got brought up in an era, like I'm up there in that age group where you didn't, you know, you couldn't say that you were adequate. You couldn't say that you were good enough. You know, you were brainwashed and conditioned in a certain way. And I think I still struggle with that self-acceptance. Is that my time up?
It's quick.
Is that it, Martin?
Yep.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, that's enough.
Great shares though, Kirsty.
You could have some of my time. Well, I'm going to be honest and say I've been a bit MIA this last week or so due to school holidays and kids' activities and things like that. So I haven't actually gotten round to chapter 2 and 3. So I'm currently taking notes and I'm online looking at it as well, and it'll definitely be homework for tonight. I did hope to try and get on there before I came on tonight. Unfortunately, I haven't, but I thought I would come and show face anyway and just catch up and see where everybody's at, and obviously take a bit of guidance from you guys before I do go on and listen to it. So sorry, but it's short and sweet from me.
Perfect. That's all good, Cheryl. Thank you for your honesty instead of winging it. Tally.
Hey guys, so I've also listened to this book a few times and stuff, so I was trying to remember what exactly 2 and 3 were focused on, and obviously I haven't been with you guys to even go over chapter 1 and such, but for what I can remember, and trying not to go too far ahead of you guys, one thing is creating habits. Even last night I was actually just journaling and focusing on, okay, I got to stick with my morning routines and my night routines. And I know some of that is, you know, part of that, the 90-day challenge, but, you know, that book kind of reminding you of what the little things that you do every day and how much of effect that has in creating that rhythm, and just the power of focused thoughts. Because it's like, to me, you know, when it talks about owning that 98%, and only 2% is free, are the 2% of those people that use their focused thought. Those people that say, okay, I have a plan, I have a mission, I have a goal, and this is where I'm going, and that's that. Versus the people that, you know, we just kind of float through the day. You know, we hope things go well. We want things to go well. We know usually it doesn't when we just behave like that. But the difference between that, you know, and using our habits to start creating some of that rhythm for us. And then also too, you know, having that unshakable belief and slowing down, and like Martina said, I think, and I can think of times, I work in electronics industry, building automation right now, and there's been tons of times where I had no clue what the issue was or what the problem, how to fix the problem, but me slowing down, taking some breaths, because I knew with me being frustrated, I can't receive anything. And trusting that, okay, like, God, you have the answer. I need it. I'm going to relax and stop being like a spoiled child and just show me what to do. And there's been so many times that I've received the answer and been able to fix things that people had no clue how I was able to figure it out, you know, and I need to implement that in other areas of my life. So that's one of the other big things that, you know, I see now the tool that I used, and now I need to use it in other areas. So that's my timings.
Yeah, cool. Great share there, Tali. Thank you as well. And just as you finished, Lloyd rocked up with his cape on. So roll away, Lloyd.
So, sorry, but I just I felt a change of pace was required. So it's been a little while since I read the book, and the big thing that stood out for me was the idea of drifting. Now, I do appreciate that you just checked the summary, but that's chapter 4. Right, so, but I'm gonna, so I don't want to ruin it for anyone if you haven't read it, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. So one of the things that I love about this other book here, which is Working with the Law by Raymond Hollywell, is the fact that, and other books where they talk about order being the first law of heaven. And so that calmness and a lack of a desire or requirement to push in order for there to be success, and to find power in peace, contemplation, and calm, right? So that's on the one side. And on the other side, when I was looking at, reading about drifting, I was like, literally every addiction I could possibly imagine, including all of the ones on the list, I had in abundance, right? So, and I recognized where the entry points were. I was like, wow. So like, is there any left that I haven't totally submerged myself in over the years, right? And then I had I suppose a very pleasant moment where I understood that because I decided to take personal responsibility for who I am, where I'm at, where I'm going, and everybody around me, and how I respond to people and my environment. And then I recognized that my thoughts are not me, that I am something pure, perfect, and complete. And I don't require everything anybody else has to say about it is irrelevant. That I can move away from drifting and I can just have a clear path. And there are no obstacles because they don't exist, they're just other people's opinions. And so that was a really nice moment for me, from just understanding that we drift for so many different reasons, and we justify drifting with this idea of, oh, I just left it open for the universe to do what's right. I think a little bit more personal responsibility is required, I think, for us to get it across the line, if there is a line, because it's so easy. I think someone mentioned phones. I was had a conversation with my significant other earlier about phones, and I said, do you have a timer set on your phone for when you hit 1 hour on social media? It's like, no. It's like, have you ever considered it? She's like, no. I was like, would you like to consider it? She's like, no. So I was like, well, there's one of those. There's one of those areas where we have to live with love, right? And there's so many things like that where we just allow it in and allow it to be okay, but it's not. We've got to actually just steer the ship, because if the ship is going and there's nobody steering it, and it hits a rock, guess what? It's your fault. Right? Now, you know, in the bigger scheme of things, it might not be your fault to a certain extent, but it is your problem. And you got to solve it and kind of go after it. So anyway, that's a bit of a vague answer. From what I can remember of those two chapters, that's what led me to.
Perfect. Cheers, Lloyd. Thanks for sharing there as well, because I know that when chapter 3 started with the interview, I've actually been listening to it in the gym, and I'm walking around with my eyes beaming and laughing and just like in shock at times and going far out. And Beth had said to me, "Do you listen to this?" Because I've been listening, taking notes. Beth's been next to me. She's like, "Do you listen to this in the gym?" And I'm like, "Absolutely. This is bloody brilliant." And she's like, "Really?" And I'm going, "I'm just getting so much from it that I want to listen to it pretty much every day." Because as somebody just said then earlier, it's so relevant to our times right now. And that's the big thing there. So thanks for your shares. And I have already posted in, and I'll tag you guys as well. I have already posted in chapter 4 to get into as well for reviewing next week. But now we've come to that, just gone over that halfway point on the call. What was announced this morning, and we're very fortunate to have Lloyd, who's currently on holiday, on the call as well. So it'd be great to tap into Lloyd and pick his brains on anything that you guys wish to as well, which I'm sure he's kind enough to share his wisdom with us all. Is that Mark has been able to create the new marketing funnels for us all. So you can actually have a personalized funnel, which is in the marketing section of your back office. But this time next week, all being well, if it doesn't happen by the end of the week, we'll have a whole new back office system that's all updated, flows a lot simpler, looks actually a lot cleaner. Yeah, absolutely, the happy dance there from Lloyd. So, and that's and this is what Lloyd said so beautifully before, is that, you know, your iPhone or your Samsung or whatever, your smartphone has an update, and you update it so it's got all the latest technology on it. Tesla, download updates immediately. We have the founder of the company who's doing the updates for us constantly based on our feedback and what we see as helping it all move forward. So I'd encourage you to go in there, especially the call that I dropped into the chat today, which was the recording of what Mark went through. Go through that, but have a play as well. So, but have a really good think around, if you're going to do a welcome video, share Noble Goldman through your eyes, what you see it being for you, and help people see that, or leverage a video that's going to be created, or leverage what's already on the, whatever it is. But if you're wanting to keep that flow of connection, share what it is for you. And that, remember, on the outside, when you're connecting with, let's just call people leads, when we're connecting with people on the outside as leads, and they like who we are and they're vibrating to us, then that continued flow helps them on that journey, rather than sometimes going from, I really like this guy, I like what his advert or her advert's about, or whatever the message is organically, and then all of a sudden they meet somebody, as Lloyd said earlier on, the first mastermind he ran, he just delivered it as if it was a sales talk. And it traumatized, were Lloyd's words, it traumatized his audience. So, and he's adapted over the journey. So it's that thing that is the experience, is the journey for the person on the outside, the same as they go through. Knowing that there's trainings in there from Mark and there's other people in there, but you're nurturing the whole process. The exact same way as those of you who are parents, your child has been nurtured from birth your way, but she or he is also going to be introduced to other people, and therefore going to experience different cultures, different attitudes, and so on. Therefore, it's going to help mold them. But if you can guide them through and nurture them as best as possible, it's going to help really create a solid foundation for what's to come ahead. So is there anything that's coming up for anybody around there they want to elaborate on a little bit more? Is that a no?
I had a sneak peek. I activated my funnels this morning, but I haven't really had much chance to have a look at them. So I'm wondering whether it's possible for you to just take us through them, Martin, to show what they're like and how to find them, because I know it's if you haven't watched the video, it's a bit of a complex thing to find them.
Okay, so give me a thumbs
I've
up
just flicked through mine.
when you guys can see my screen.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so the homepage currently is the same as it's been. I'm just going to refresh that because the screen doesn't look like it's actually going through. So if when you log in, if you come down to this bottom bit here and down to marketing, that will then bring up the new funnels. Now, when you do come here, if you click over this side where it says campaign, this is actually Mark giving you a 27-minute intro walkthrough of exactly how to set up your new personalized landing page. So there's no reason for any of us not to know what to do as long as we watch this video. But also try and get hold of your name if you want the funnel to have your name. For instance, Martin's written in there. So when I go to the funnel, this here is the URL, and then Martin's at the end. So you will be able to have your name unless somebody's already taken it. So just bear that in mind, okay? There's obviously going to be more Martins, but I've got Martin, I've owned that space now. So when you actually click on here, preview funnel, it will bring up the funnel so you can see what it's about. Now, this is the mastermind funnel. Therefore, the moment you send this link to somebody, this is actually your secret key now. So when you would originally have gone into here to copy your secret key, this is your secret key if you're going to share this landing page with people, which is your all around masterminds. So as you can see, it's pretty much the same layout as the home pages anyway of Noble Goldman. But then we've got the mastermind presentation. And the beauty of this is that people can watch this no matter what. So what time it is, they can instantly jump on it. Now, this is Mark walking through. It's an hour and 25 minutes approximately, giving the information there, and then your person can create their account. Everything goes through your system, all in your back office, everything's tracked. Or she and he can put the details in and send them through the 7-step mastermind manifesto. So the details, I believe, go in the back office for you to be able to contact them as well. Now, the important thing to understand around this stuff is you can personalize this as much as you want. So if I go back to here, down to here, you actually have the ability to upload your own video. So you're going to have to go through the training of it to see how to do it. But you can basically put in your own custom video here if you've uploaded it to YouTube or Vimeo. And there's lots more you can do, but this is all explained in the video by Mark to give you guidelines. Now, naturally, if you come into this and you're like, well, what do I do? What do I do? Doesn't make sense and you get frustrated. I guarantee it's because you've not taken the time to go through the video with Mark. Because I know when I joined Noble Goldman, I didn't put my goals in or my affirmations. And I happened to be on a call where Lloyd was on and he's showing me all this. And I'm like, my back office doesn't work. And he happened to say, you need to put in your goals. And I went, I haven't done that. So it wasn't the system wasn't working, it was that I wasn't working the system properly. So that's an overview if you wanted to send the mastermind, and that's where to find them. Once again, if you go back to marketing tools, there's another one which is around the abundance game. So this is actually it's worded slightly different, but you've got Lloyd and Christo delivering this one. This is 50 minutes. So you're gonna be able to watch them and figure out which one resonates with you most, and also to be aware of what's communicated in them to help you share that value with the person. Because what I found over the years is that whenever you're sharing something, the key is the edification angle of it. And you can only edify something based on what you see of value to it. But also knowing that if you're talking to somebody and you're asking them about what the goals are, what the core values are, where they're going, what the vision is, and you know that in one of them, it specifically covers an area of that, you're like, this would probably be the best link to send them because they're going to resonate with what's being shared in that. So is there anything that anybody wants to touch on there, or you want to elaborate, Lloyd, or anybody?
I've got a question there. So that funnel link replaces the secret key. Is that is that what you're saying? Is the landing page from the secret key that is in the first page? Isn't that the same? Doesn't that end up on the same pages than when we use that funnel key?
No. So if you have a look here, when we go back to this URL here, that's coded to my whole Noble Goldman back office. But it says there, noblegoldman.com fun mastermind /Martin. On this one, it says abundance game /Martin. Therefore, it's a completely different funnel, but it's still linked through all of my back office. Now, if I was to send, so this is active now. So if I actually open up a new window and send myself that link, it will come up with Lloyd and Christo webinar. But if I actually go and get my secret key and I copy that here, so just check that's copied, yeah. And then I open a new window and paste that, it's actually gone to a different page. The actual, there's only a 4-minute video there instead of Lloyd and Christo speaking. So you can still share your secret key, but what we're saying here is if you want your personalized landing page to have your own video and you want to leverage this value that's been put together for us, as well as this 7-step mastermind manifesto, you need to go to your back office and activate them by, first of all, watching the video and then going through and doing what you're told to do. Does that make sense?
Awesome. Yes. Thanks. That's great. Yeah. So it's actually better. Yeah. Well, it depends on the person where you share it, but it looks like just that the funnel key is actually better to share because you've got a longer video with more information and it looks better. Mastermind and then the name, or abundance game and then the name. That just has a much better ring to it. Yeah, I shall look at it and see if I can grab my name.
Yeah. Let me just make Lloyd a co-host because he wants to share something as well. There you go, bro.
Yeah, nice one. And actually, that was just in case I wanted to share something. Actually, that's okay too. Yeah. So what I was going to say there. How do I pronounce your name? Angie? Or am I getting that?
Yeah, that's close enough. Yeah, it's Antje. Yeah, but that's cool. That's good. Yeah, thanks.
Right. Well, no, thank you. So the idea being basically, right, is that currently your secret key just brings people to, the standard front page of the website. So what we've done is with this funnel is we sort of upgraded it, made it, the information is a little bit more current, and it also might be simpler than what's on the other one, with a lot more value. And there's also that 7-step manifesto, which means that people coming to the page, if you actually use it in like with a Facebook ad, right now that's a whole thing altogether. We're not going to get into that. But if you were to use it as a front end funnel, people coming through it would submit their name and email and turn up in your candidate section on Noble Goldman website as a lead coming through that funnel, which you then reach back out to them. Okay, and they're getting something of value. So the idea when you go on a somebody sends you a link to something, that they saw somewhere, and okay, great, you click onto the website, and suddenly it pops up, hey, give us your email, and you just exit because it's annoying because you're trying to read an article, right? But in this case, it's useful because we're giving something that's on topic and it has a value to them. So we've actually created, well, I'd say I didn't actually do anything. Well, I'm using the proverbial we, all right? We created like a PDF download with going through the 7 steps illustrated in Outwitting the Devil. So Mariam put it together. So people actually get something physically, well, digitally, that they can download and get some value from. So they're more likely to be open to a conversation then when you go back to connect with them. Rather than, hey, jump on a webinar and they're like, what's going on here? Some people are late or their Zoom doesn't open for them and they just come in mid-flow and they're like, what's going on here? And so what happens is everybody already has a belief system. And that belief system is looking for reasons to confirm itself. So when they identify anything that they don't like or anything that affirms a negative or erroneous paradigm, they attach to that and you've lost them. You've lost their attention, potentially lost any relationship if you had any in the first place with the individual that you've sent there. And so it's just not that effective. So the reason why we use the funnels is because it's personalized. And then you can also put in a welcome video to share your personally why you choose to mastermind. So what Martin didn't show you there is that there's when you put, well, he hasn't made the video, so that's why he can't show you. But basically, you have a section where it'll show your video. It's like, hey, thanks so much. I'm really excited to share this with you. I started masterminding, however long ago. One of the biggest things for me is being surrounded by a group of like-minded people that we can learn and grow together. And, if you can see what I can see and you can feel what I'm feeling, I'd love to mastermind with you and develop a relationship. So, there's a video below, a presentation. It's 50 minutes long. Please set aside the time. I think you'll be glad you did. And, connect. Looking forward to hearing from you. And that's it. Now, you can do it any way you like, but let's imagine that that's the video, right? So then underneath, you can also personalize the message that's under that video with the way you speak, the words you would use, okay? Because the way Martin speaks and the way I speak is different. We can probably use different words, all right? So if you read anything Martin writes, it's beautiful. It's so well written. It's incredible. I'm reading it going, man, I want to be able to do that when I grow up, But so we all do things differently, right? So it has to be authentic and match up with what you said in your video, right? And just to be clear, for anyone who's thinking, I don't want to be on a video, trust me, the person who's watching the video also doesn't want to be on a video. So you've already got a lot in common. So rather than you having a perfect video, perfect doesn't sell. Okay, perfect makes people feel lack. So people go buy cosmetics. That's what perfect is. And also, if we look at cosmetics, well, the people who are on the cover don't look like that either. Right? So it's slightly off topic. But the point is that the more authentic you are, the more relatable you are. And just like I mentioned on the last call, while most of us are going to look at Martin and say, wow, Martin's very sharp, very good at words, very good at doing this type of stuff, but maybe we don't know how to do yet, we can fall into the comparative mode. Maybe not competitive because we might find ourselves lacking, right? But at least comparative at the very least, right? So we might think that we need to be as good as Martin to make a video. We don't. Because the chances are the person watching the video is not Martin either. There's only one of them. The Martins. Yeah. Martians. We'll stay with Martins. But so, you know what I mean? Like, so you just want to be as authentic. I was going to say as authentic as possible. I mean, you can be as authentic as you like, but I would recommend just be yourself. You're pretty good at it. You've lots of practice. Does that make sense? And then you can split test. It's called A/B testing, for any of you who are interested, between how Mark explains Noble Goldman, which I think Martin mentioned is 1 hour and 22 minutes. There is literally almost nothing on earth that could hold my attention for 1 hour and 22 minutes. Like, possibly my wonderful girlfriend or my daughter, but that's probably about it, right? So, right? So you might choose to, depending on who you're talking to, send something that's a little bit shorter. And then also myself and Christo are very different. So we tackle different aspects of the same thing within the same video. So that might work depending on who you're sending the video to. So you'll identify, because we can track it, and you'll see the conversions and all the numbery stuff, where you can track and see how well those things are going, right? Now, if you send it to 2 people, you haven't got any data to work with. So don't expect to get some clarity if you've only spoken to 2 people and send out 2 links. But over time, you're going to start to see some patterns. And if you can't see them, we've created technology that can see them for you. So you don't have to be able to see them. You just have to learn how to read them. Okay? Yeah, so with that being said, we will also, well, I'm not sure if we can already, but definitely very soon, we'll be able to see if they click the link, if they watch the first video, how much of the first video they watched. If they clicked on the second video, how much of the second video they watched. If they left the page and came back again, okay, which means we've held their interest, but they got distracted, but they came back because we got their interest in the first place. They can connect with you via Facebook, and we're gonna put it so they can connect directly to Messenger rather than your Facebook page, because if you get a random friend request, how the hell are you gonna know where you got from? And then we'll also, there's a create account button, so they can create an account inside an Noble Goldman in your back office, like the secret key scenario, right? And then they can also book into your scheduling thing if you have Calendly, for example. Okay? We will have an option for them to become a gold star straight away. But we have to set up the payment system, which is the next step after this rollout of the new user homepage, which will be ready in the next 4 or 5 days. Definitely by Monday, you'll have a very sexy back office. Real nice, real nice. So, yeah, and that's going to keep getting better as well. Does that make sense? Any questions about any of that?
Does anybody have a question?
Can I ask another question? Where can we read that manifesto? Where is it? Do I need to register with myself to download it, or is it anywhere else? I don't know if that's a new thing. I'm pretty new, so I would like to read it first before I send it out.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
everything.
I've actually gone in because I want to know what every experience is for the people I send to. So I've gone through it and put my own details in. So I'm Martin Sexy Ball now in my candidate system. So I'll definitely be touching base with him. And I've got it in my email address, in my emails now, so I can open it. And yeah, I mean, if you want, I can quickly give you, I know that some of you want to jump on Leslie's call, but I can just, this is literally what came through a couple of minutes ago. So it's walking through, if you look at the top, what is a mastermind? How is this accomplished? Definiteness of purpose. Basically getting them to really do some work here to understand the value, self-mastery, learn from adversity, controlling your environment, time, harmony, caution, a call to action. Create your account and connect with your mastermind sponsor, and let's start building the next chapter. Beautiful. So that's a quick overview.
Can you put that in the chat as a PDF? Then we can all have a look at it.
I can do. Although, do you not want to go and actually just go through and put it in your own details so you're getting?
No, I can do that too. Yeah, of course.
I just advise everyone
that
goes through the same process as what the leads are going to go through, so that they know it works. And if you have anyone who says, "Oh, I can't find it," like for instance, that email went into my promotions in Gmail. So people who have got Gmail accounts in particular will have to go into either the promotions or all mail folder, which is where everything goes through to find it. So, and that way we all know that if you've got Gmail, you need to go here to find where it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I know it's come to the hour mark, and I know we've got Leslie's call as well for those of you who want to jump on that. So yeah, guys, thanks so much for your great shares. I've recorded this, so I'll drop that into the chat. Lloyd, once again, thanks for jumping on, mate, and sharing a bit more around NG and the value as well. It's always a pleasure to have your incredible value on the call, as well as each and every single one of you as well. So go and enjoy Leslie's calls for those who Leslie's call for those who are jumping on, and all the rest of you have a great day or evening wherever you are in the world.
Are we doing
Martin.
chapter 4?
Yeah, Lloyd, stay on.
Are we
I'm going to stay on for a little bit. That's all.
are we doing chapter 4 for next week?
Yeah, it's posted into the group. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. I'm staying on, by the way, so yeah, that's cool.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Promise to do number 4, chapter 4 for next week.
You'll love it, Cheryl.
2
You'll love
and
it.
3 and 4.
Your action steps for your accountability for this week, chapter 4.
Once you start getting into it, Cheryl, you'll just like, I guarantee you'll just not want to stop it. It's great.
Good. This week's just been a bit blah. But yeah, I'll get into it.
Just, Lloyd, do you just want to chat with me, or are you happy for anyone else to stay on?
As you wish.
Whatever. Okay. If anybody wants to hang on for a bit, that's fine.
I've got to go. I love chapter 4, the drifting, super good. I hope to be on next week, but I'm not sure where I am, how much reception I've got. We're going on holiday, and we're going to be drifting on our holiday, so we have a direction, and that's about it. So I've got no idea where I'm going to be next week, Thursday. So I'll see what I can do. All right, thanks for all the information. I'm going to go and have a look at it. And yeah, great. I hope I can catch up next week. See you. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye, Angie.
I just want to say I'm going to jump off because I've been on back-to-back calls for the last 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you to Martin and Lloyd for just the confirmation that this is the right thing. You know, this is just what you were talking about this morning, Lloyd, in the previous call, and it was what Martin and I were talking about, and it just really confirms that this is the right vehicle, and as a tool instead of as the objective, it is incredibly powerful. And I think we just need to learn to use it as a tool rather than when I came in, it was very much more, this is the objective. Although I did see it as a tool to build the rest of my stuff, it was just like, oh, I've got to do this, this, and this. Whereas as I was talking with Martin, I've got some ideas that are coming in that are going to come from a very different perspective, and that NG is the perfect tool for all of us, especially those of us who've got a bigger purpose of changing the world. This is the most perfect tool for us to do it. And the collective synergy of all of us working together, we might have slightly different, objectives, but we're all working towards what ultimately is going to be the same result. And I just think that this is, well, that was an aha I had earlier on when you were talking, Lloyd, and it was just like, whoa, okay, so this could be a whole new area of people who want to make a change in the world, but don't even know where to start, don't know what to do or how to achieve anything, and that this could just be the most perfect tool. And I hadn't even thought about that. I've got big ideas of where, what I want to do, but this is a whole new ball game again. And once I've got this other ones sorted out, then I'll come back and put some attention into this, because I think this will reach a lot of people that perhaps NG as it is at the moment won't reach. But if we come in from that very different angle of Okay, you want to make a difference in the world. How the fuck are you going to do it? You need support, you need stuff, you need whatever. And this is perfect. It is absolutely freaking perfect. But this is just, I can't remember which call. It was either this one or the one before, Lloyd. So I haven't totally processed all this, but it was just like, oh my God, there are so many people out there who want to make a difference and don't know where to start.
Yeah, and if you don't mind me dropping another knowledge bomb on you there, so I might reel with this one, right?
Yeah.
Here's what I'd like everyone to understand just for a moment, right? Is everybody familiar with the graph of a new innovative technology, what that looks like? Martin, can you bring that up on screen for me? It's the...
I've got it.
Okay. So...
Sorry, guys, I don't want to take up your time. I just wanted to jump on and say thank you.
No, that's fine. So here's the thing.
Okay.
Now, there's no gap.
Oh, yeah,
for
yeah,
something,
yeah.
but anyway, so the innovators...
Gap on it.
Okay. No, where's the chasm?
Oh, hang
No
on.
chasm. Anyway, but it's okay. But so you got to imagine one. Okay. So
the chasm here.
Yeah, the chasm is somewhere. Yeah, it's in the early adopters section in the middle there. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. But the point is that the innovators are busy at work in the background, helping steer the ship. Okay, when I came along, the ship was already being steered, and I had no creative contribution really, other than trying to figure out what the hell was going on. Okay. What subsequently happened was I became one of the innovators. Now, I didn't really know that was going to happen. It wasn't part of my plan or whatever, but because we came to the table early enough, we just passed through that innovator stage, right? So we're in the early adopter stage. So we're about 1/3 of the way along the early adopters, okay? And we're just coming to it's called the chasm. It's where most new technologies don't get across the other side because they lose faith because they don't know that this is going to happen, okay? So understand this. If it was just a group of people that were looking to make money, it could easily fall apart, but it's not. This is a group of people understanding that if they work collectively, collaboratively, they will change the entire face of human history. So just for a second, imagine if every one of our early adopters, okay, so there's about 400 Gold Star members currently out of 3,000. 200 of them are active and building teams, okay? 27 of them are on my team, for example. Okay, but that only just happened because I was here at the time and I sort of made a bit of an effort, right? So the thing about it is that if every Gold Star of those 200 simply adds one new Gold Star per month, in 7 years we have hit 400 million people.
Wow.
Now just get this for a second. That's all of America, plus all of South Africa, plus some change. All right? Now, all following the golden rule, believing that do unto others as you would have done unto yourself. All of them working on developing themselves internally, externally. All of them having a constructive conversation with the devil and telling them to do one. Right? All of that stuff. And all thinking about how can I contribute, how can I make an impact while setting people free. The world looks different 7 years from now. Can't stress this enough. Like, this is huge what's going on here. So while we might be just, 10 people and 9 people on a call talking about, this, that, and the other, it's more than you can possibly imagine. It's more than I can imagine. It is huge. So when you have that, any idea, okay, so there's this idea that, that's fine, a bit of an ironic pun there, but there's this concept that ideas want to be born. Okay, so they're like potential energy, and they have an energy of their own. Okay, and they're looking for people who are open and receptive to the idea. All right, and then they want you, through your own contribution of energy, to blow on these little embers that they've given you and protect the idea, and then feed life into it. But eventually, you couldn't put it out, no matter if you had 1,000 people. 1 million people couldn't put it out because the fire is too big. Okay? So this is where we're at the moment. We've just got the fire going. We're all sitting around it singing Kumbaya, playing bongos and the guitar and all that. And we're starting to get an idea of a vision of where we're going with this. Okay? So here we are, we're mid-air. There's nothing beneath our feet except an updraft. Yeah? And we're very soon going to land on the other side, and the world's going to know exactly who we are and what we're doing. And so every cycle goes through 3 things. Number 1 is ridicule. Okay, so Marconi, who developed the radio, they put him in a mental asylum. He said, how are you going to speak through the ether with people on the other side of the planet? It's ridiculous, right? Then the next one is violent opposition. Okay, luckily we're in our safety of our own home, so we should be fairly safe from that for the most part, right? And we're not all in one place, so we're not breaking social distancing rules. So that's the good part. But then the final part is accepted as self-evident. And oh yeah, of course you build masterminds. That makes sense. Oh yeah, of course you have multiple streams of income, because why would you have one? You'd be like, yeah, where were you when I said this years ago? Okay, so I'm sure you've all come across this many, many times, and I just need you to understand this is really what's going on. Is we are passing here. We're over it. We're in the chasm, right? So I want you, while you're doing your visualizations, while you're doing your affirmations, just feel the updraft as you're crossing the chasm. Get a feel for that, like physically feel it. And understand that very soon your feet are going to land on the other side and the whole world's going to get what we're doing. And they'll understand and accept they relate to the table, but they can still have an impact while making an income, while contributing to what's happening in the world to make it a better place. Does that make sense?
It does. Perfect. Thank you. And I know Ed is saying that she introduced me to this right at the very beginning, and I wasn't ready to hear it or see it. I had a lot of stuff going on, so
yeah.
I'm here now.
Wow.
That thing called life has a habit of happening. I've noticed.
And look, you know, when we're not ready, we're not ready, and it doesn't matter. You know, she could have shown me everything, but if I wasn't ready, I wouldn't have got it, so it wouldn't have been anything. I'm much happier that I've waited until it was just like, okay, this is ready for me. This is my bus. Let's get on it. You know.
I'm like a sponge. I want more. I want all of it. I want to learn more. I think it's just amazing what's here.
Yeah. So it's exciting. All right, guys, I'll leave you to chat. Thank you very much. Thank you for that, Lloyd. I really appreciate that. And thank you, Martin, for your call this morning. And I will speak to you all soon.
Thanks, Lisa.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, cheers, bro.
No bother, man.
Thanks for that. I saw that you had asked me, I'm just going to bring up in the chat, because obviously I was just jumping on the calls, and I was on a call with Lisa before I jumped on that one. And you had asked me some questions around, have I watched the 2 videos? Okay. I've not watched them yet. I've obviously been on Mark's call, and I haven't been on you guys doing, because obviously, with all due respect, the call that Mark delivers about Noble Goldman isn't a mastermind, it's an introduction to him and to Noble Goldman. So I haven't watched through your call, but I've been on one of Mark's, and I'm of the same opinion that there's no way I'd sit and watch it. So even an hour, I won't sit and watch.
Yeah, without interaction, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, I'd sit on a live call, no problem. But for something that's a replay as an overview, I'm very much just get straight to the point. Show me. That's it. So one of the things that I'm looking at it more from an angle is I'm going to have, and I don't know yet, I know that Mark said that he'll build me something personally. Either?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, cool. That he'll build me something personally based on what I'm already visualizing. But I had said that I'd probably even do my own walkthrough of Noble Goldman and the value, the same as he does on a call, and have that nailed in like 25 minutes, so that they can get an overview and make it clear that this is an overview of it. But if you want to get on a live call, then register below, or whatever it would be. Let me know, and that way then I can go from there. Or I could even have a replay that if you want to watch it, just take the time to watch it, because obviously I can't just say that everyone's going to be like me, because they're not. But then I've also got the angle of then which one, because I know Mark said that he's not happy with the one he's got there. He reckons he's done a horrendous job of it, which I don't believe he has. But you know, the shorter we can get it, the better, still keeping the value. And I think when it's a live call, about being the replay of the live call, you've got the energy to an element, but at the same time, respecting the person watching is not on that live call either. So the value is being on the live call, but someone watching the replay, it's like, well, do I really need to sit here and wait or listen to other people? I just want to see it for myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one, because it's like, because we stepped up and actually are doing the calls, we realized how much he's up against it. Like, well, I'll try to present in a way that respects the other Gold Star members that have invited guests onto the call. It's not just about us communicating what we think about Noble Goldman, it's us being the best that we can be to support the people whose relationships are on that call. Mm. And so that's been the real challenge. Like, for example, yesterday I did an intro. I was like, I knew what I wanted to say, but it did not come out the way that I intended to say it. And I was like, Jesus, Lloyd, this is all over the place. So I was like, okay, I just got to pass it over to Christoph. So I did a good pass over, but like the first bit, I was like, so, but I had an idea what I wanted to talk about. But while you're saying it, there's a whole thought process going on that's happening in real time while you're trying to keep to what you've thought about saying while it wasn't real time. So it's much more difficult to follow it in real time, right? Particularly when you have, it's probably easier when you've got someone else you can pass to, so you don't feel like you completely lose people. You know what I mean? But like, here's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to let people know that there are, oh, great. So I can't fucking find it. It's great, isn't it? That there are 4 aspects to what we're doing, okay? There are the relationships. So since coming to Noble Goldman, I have built, I went through an exercise recently of writing down who are the most successful people in my life, what contribution do they make to me, what contribution do I make to them, who am I most grateful for, what relationships do I most cherish from a personal and from a business standpoint. 95% of my answers were people in this community, right? And then when I look at personal development, while I was focused on personal development for a long time, I was typically doing things on my own, and then looking to help people in the community to come out of the mind and into the body through a variety of different things like cold water swims and empowering talks and fire walks and things like that. But to be honest, bringing people almost from ground level up. You're not talking to people that are already into personal development typically and want to raise up a little bit further. So it feels like a lot of give and not a lot of receive. You know what I mean? So within Noble Coleman, I see that everybody's coming to the table with the same interests, the same goals, the same like-minded, and they're all moving forward in the same direction. Finally, then, the last two were income and impact or contribution. So that I've been able to develop an income by monetizing the relationships that I have within the platform, because we're all doing business together in one way, shape, or form. And the platform itself is designed to pay for itself, to create an income just by putting that group together. Because there's a one-tier affiliate plan there that allows us to just monetize the time that we're investing, because as an entrepreneur, time is your number one asset. So if you're going to invest the time, you need to find a way to monetize it in a realistic, predictable way so that you can explain it to other people. And so because of that, the impact and contribution I've been able to make to the lives of others by helping them make the move online, to put money in their pocket, to save some of their time, to put them in connection with people who have skills they don't have, and to group people together in places where they can thrive and flourish and focus on their strengths and not their weaknesses. Unparalleled the amount of gratitude I have from coming from other people and for me personally in my sense of how I want to contribute in the world. That's NG for me, right? Now, I wonder as to how much that answers the questions that Martin Ball has when he comes on a call. Because I was thinking about this, I was like, okay. So that's a fairly high level desire, I think, what I'm talking about in terms of, it's a fairly well-rounded, it's a very evolved might be the word I'm looking for. Someone who's obviously done a bit of work on themselves to have those, to want that. But there's obviously people come on and going, here, listen, I want to make a bit of moolah yesterday. Right? So how does that address that? So I'm curious as to if that was what you heard in the video, what questions do you have that are not answered? And what is your feedback from what I just said?
Well, when I look at NG, I see 3 rooms. So I see room 1 being all around connection to people who are, I mean, you've got 4 steps. I see it really as 3, but I can definitely see 4 because of impact and contribution, giving back. Well, I see at the moment, let's just say 3. So the masterminds, the connection with like-minded people. Room 2 is all around personal growth, the ability to come together as every single member within Noble Goldman, adding each of our value, whether that's in life experience or business experience, so everybody learns and grows together, as well as helping build an authentic brand. And then room 3 is all around the potential to create multiple sources of income, which, as you know, then room 4 would be contribution, giving back to charities, creating opportunities for others, and so on. Now, which totally aligns with me, and I'm glad you've actually brought it up as 4 rooms, because one of my biggest visions to travel around the world and speak for free and put on free events talking around everything's happening for you and not to you. And that's been my vision for ages. I'm doing it all for free, but I know that you've got to pay for staff and the events and so on because they need to earn an income. Now, and there's other things in there. So one of the things that I've always said, Lloyd, is that I can only share this with you through my own eyes and what resonates with me. Now, as you said earlier on, you know, and I made a note of it here. was something around, everybody is doing their best. Sometimes they don't see it, although it doesn't mean it's not there. So like you're saying, that if somebody's coming on for one thing in particular, or whatever it is that they want, and I don't cover it, or you don't cover it, or Mark doesn't cover it, then they're like, well, it's of no value to me. But quite a few people have come away and gone, oh, it's just all about money. And I'm like, and I went, how did you get that from the call? But for me, because I don't have a problem with money, and a lot of people do, I just know that it's organically in there, and I know that money is always a byproduct of the service and the value you provide. So the money talking at the end was like, well, of course, that's the last part, but the initial part is all around the connection and the growth and who you're becoming and the value and what you're giving. So,
but I think people are waiting for the upsell, though. This is what I'm saying.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. That's been.
You know, it's an interesting one because Mark says, hey, just to be clear, this is not a sales call. No one's going to sell you anything at the end of this, right? This is a free mastermind. Yes, we have a paid version of it. So what? This is like free for you to come and learn and grow and assess whether or not this makes sense for you. So he is leaving the door open. But in a sense, when I saw that the first time, I was like, so I don't listen, right? When I want something. I'm just focused on that thing only. May as well not the world disappears. That's because there's only one thing in it, right? I'm a bit less so now, but you know, that's what I came in with. Like, I met Mark and I said, can I put an organo in there? Do I actually have to build a team here? He was like, yes, Lloyd, you do. I was like, all right. He goes, but you know, he told me it was a free mastermind. I was like, okay, so I thought it was free. It's like, nice one. And that was the entire thought process, like start to finish, right? That what I just said, right? So then I logged in. I didn't know how to play the abundance game because I didn't watch the video, okay? Because I didn't want to watch a video, right? Because the video was 27 minutes long. I was like, I ain't spending 25 minutes. No chance. So I was like, I don't even, it doesn't matter if the abundance game works or not. If I can build a team here, well, it's good enough for me, right? And then I contacted Mark. I was like, here, where's my key at? How am I going to share this with people? He goes, you have to upgrade. It's like, what? He's like, yeah, it's $200. I was like, here's my credit card. Let's go. Hand me the key. And you've got work to do here, right? So I just went on a rampage, a total rampage. But it didn't occur to me for a second that there was anything to pay for because it didn't say that there was anything to pay for. But $200 is like, whatever. What the hell are you going to do with $200? Nothing. Nothing you can do with it that has any value other than a couple of beers with the lads. And that's about it, right? What else are you going to do with it? How are you going to put it into something that's going to give you a return if you know nothing and know nobody? It's useless. So I recognized very quickly, if I can just make my money back, this is good enough, good place to be. That's it. That's all I had in my mind. And then I was like, oh, great. So now I can make some money. How much money? It's like, Mark, I want to make $1,000 a day. Every day of the year. And I want to do no work. He's like, Lloyd, I hate to break it to you here, but like, you're going to have to do some work, but you're going to do most of it at the front end. I was like, all right, no problem. And I just went on a rampage, you know? So all I saw was what it was solving for me. And I saw that there was opportunity. The price wasn't even on my mind at all. In fact, I would have been insulted if it was free. Because how the hell am I going to make any money out of it? It's like, this is ridiculous. How could it be free? That's ridiculous. Why would you give anything of value away for nothing? It doesn't make any sense to me. Now, if I was a yellow personality, then probably you might have, but I'm not. You know what I mean? So it was really interesting. So you forget sometimes, Martin, well, maybe it's more recent for you, but for me, I forget sometimes what it's like for new people coming in, right? Because I'm already here.
Yeah.
Right? I have a very different approach now when people connect with me. Because I don't really care whether they get in or not. You know, they say in network marketing, don't talk to your warm market until you don't care whether they get in or not.
Mm. Yeah.
And yet they teach everyone to go talking to their warm market and get crucified, right? So I think that, I think it's important to talk about the money. And if it was up to me, we'd talk about it more, actually. But with me and Chris, though, we keep each other in check so we don't lose the run of ourselves. Because if somebody came on a call where only I was running it, holy moly, that'd be an experience they're not likely to forget, I'm thinking.
But this goes back to the conversations I've had with a few people, and I've brought this up on a few of the Gold Star masterminds with Mark, and I've said, you know, I'm super grateful for those Facebook groups and the leads, and that's what I've been playing with just to see what the go is with them, the conversations, how I can shift it and get, you know, 2 messages, people joining Noble Goldman. That's my goal, and then getting them on the masterminds. Because there's no need to fluff about. So, but that's my attitude. Now, I'm not saying it's the same for everybody, and this goes back to whatever color you are and so on. But I also said to Mark, with all due respect, Mark, I don't want to be giving people free access. It's $200 to get in. And that's it. It's $200. And if you cannot find $200 to join this, there's no way you're going to invest in cash flow. There's no way you're going to be buying into any of the MSIs. So if I can't sell somebody into the incredible value that they're getting for just $200, that's where I need to work on myself. And I need to be clear on who my audience is. So it's not saying that there's any right or wrong in it, but I just went, do you know what? I'm going straight for the people who believe that they are here to build a big business, to make impact in people's lives and to make impact in the world. That's who I'm going for. Because they bring in value and more value. And in all fairness, Lloyd, as well, the mission statement does not exist without those people being in the group community. So we have to find, I know they're like needles in a haystack, but we have to find them. We have to attract them by giving them the value and saying, hey, check this out. And they're like, oh, this sounds good. I'm intrigued about this. What is it? Rather than trying to go through, with all due respect, there's nothing wrong with all the people that there are golden nuggets. You've got to sift through a lot of dirt respectfully, but there are some golden nuggets in the groups. But at the same time, is my energy better spent doing paid adverts and having conversations with these people that, in all fairness, you get 4 or 5 good leaders and they go out there, they can build a huge business for you by constantly bringing in 4 and 5 good leaders, as you know. So,
I mean, the thing about it is that I put together that strategy. Well, mine's a little bit more refined, I think, than what Mark put together, if I'm honest. But he put it together because he's not the one doing it, right? So he's saying, look, this is what's best practice. And so we put together here, listen, if you're doing it, here's how you should be doing it. And say, the only goal is, hey, listen, I got some cinema tickets. You're ringing the cinema. Here's the story. This is when it's on. Come along. If you like it, whoop-de-doo, come and watch the movie. If you don't like it, see you later. Easy peasy. And if they come and they resonate with what we're talking about, in there like swimwear. And then let's see if we'll develop a relationship with you. And if you're cool and we're cool, then let's do it. That's it. There's no fluff. But that being said, everybody, it comes in with a different energy, right? So if I said that to some of my team members, they'd be like, oh, but Lloyd, I want to, like, you know, speak for an hour and a half to people and you know, find out what sun sign they are, and I talk to them about, you know, areas of the zodiac and waves and stuff. You know, this is what people want to do, right? I don't have any interest in that. I want to spend time with my family, and I want to have meaningful conversations. That's it.
Oh yeah, sorry.
You know? Yeah. Speaking of family, you probably got to go, do you?
Yeah, I do. But it's all right. Just we'll wrap it up. But yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how to run paid adverts, by the way. Never ran a paid advert in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Possibly because I don't want to have to talk to a lot of people, to be quite honest with you. If I'm actually honest, I'm like, I don't care. Like, I feel like I'm creating a lot of work for myself. Now, that being said, to find the right 5 people, you got to talk to a lot of people, even if they're coming through paid ads, and you got to automate a lot of that process. You got to have some skills. Skills I don't currently have. It doesn't mean I couldn't learn them, obviously. I don't know if I care enough to go and learn it, if I can be quite honest. Because at this point with Noble Goldman, I have enough people doing enough things, and I don't really need to do anything. If it wasn't for running these calls, I'd be doing 5 hours a week at a push. I don't do anything else, by the way. Okay, I work. I sell courses for my family hairdressing academy at 12 grand a pop. So I make €700 a pop. So it's just easy peasy. I don't really have to do anything. I don't even really work, basically. So what I'm looking to do now is just to have good conversations with the guys so that I can help them go and do what I did. Because if they can do what I did, the whole thing's going to go bananas.
Yeah.
You know? But at the same time, I respect what you're doing, and I would love to, once I decide to allocate time to learning that skill and make the decision that I actually want to do it, I'd love to know how it's done, because I can see huge value in it. But the last thing I want to do is sell people on the value of things all the time. So I don't have the patience for it. So I went onto your call there just to see how you're doing things. And what you're doing is you're running an actual mastermind. What I'm doing is I'm running a master class. There's a big difference in the energy, right? So the energy on your call speaks to all of the colors, right? The energy on my call speaks to a certain audience. And it's based around things like accountability, action, and less around the emotional waves of emotion we go through in the process of reprogramming our mind in order to take those steps. All I'm doing is directing people, listen, you got a tool there. Let the tool do the work. You don't have to do the work. Let the tool do the bloody work. Just leverage the tool. And so I can definitely see the value in when somebody goes on to one of your calls, they get a flavor of what it's like to be in a mastermind. I've been thinking about this a lot recently. I want to start running an actual mastermind again. I only ran masterclasses because nobody else was running it. Someone's got to run it. Someone's got to put a structure in place so that people know what to do. Yeah. But that's not what I want to be doing. To be honest with you. You know, I'm just doing what's necessary because it's necessary. And once it's done, I don't need to do it again. So record the video, bang it in the site, and then Lloyd, it's done. I can go back to having proper conversations with people about things I actually want to talk about. You know? So I learned a lot from what I saw today.
Well, to be fair, Lloyd, what that call, I ended up didn't doing anything of what I'd normally do. The normal process is actually, once we've gone through the mastermind principles and mission statement, there's then about a 10-15 minute talk on education section around the topic. Then we mastermind together for 40 minutes. Then I have that takes us to the hour mark. Then I do a walkthrough prezzo on regards to what Noble Goldman is and the value of it, tying it in back into what the topic was. So it goes, and then we wrap it up pretty much after that. Now, that's been working really well. However, it's still getting to the hour 15, hour 20 mark. But you see where the power is, there's a bit of education at the beginning. Then you've got the connection from the masterminding. So everyone's feeling, I've got to have my say in here and be a part of it. And then, now I can see why Noble Goldman ties in with all of this and what Noble Goldman's about more. So the feedback's been, it's amazing and it's working really well. But when we got on the call today, I just looked at everyone who was on there and I went, let's just have an open conversation about whatever. And then you happened to come on and it just flowed in the way it was. So I was totally letting go from that angle, because every single person that was on there is in Noble Goldman, and 3 or 4 of them were gold stars or whatever. But I also have a private group. where I'm engaging in that group. So all those people that were on the call are in the group, so they're seeing the value as well. And occasionally I go live with the mastermind so that it's engaging some more of the community who are jumping on and going, oh, this is what it's about. So I'm in no way, shape or form saying that I know the secret key to it all. I'm just testing things at the moment. I haven't even run a paid advert or anything around this. All I'm doing, because for me, I know this is going to go gangbusters for me. And one of the things that I cannot stand is the phone beeping, as crazy as that sounds for an online business. So my focus is to have it streamlined. Now, one of the things that I built a couple of years ago was I had a system where I was running paid adverts, $5 a day. And on average, I was getting 30 people saying, I want to know more. And they were clicking, they were commenting, which automated a bot, which then sent the link to join my online platform we created. And I had one lady go through and spend 10.5 grand, and I had $4 grand commission on that, and I didn't even speak to her. So I was asleep when it actually happened. So I know that I can get a process in place, but I also know that once again, the whole journey and experience has to flow. And with what we're doing here, there's more connection from the masterminds and the building of the relationships, knowing that the money is in the MSIs and cash flow, but that only comes through from the connection and the relationship. So I'm necessarily no further ahead than anybody else. It's just that I'm coming in and I'm building my structure and foundation, because come the end of December, the end of this year, I'm packing up and going off traveling around Australia. So where a lot of people are like, fucking hell, this guy's all over it. It's only because short-term sacrifice, long-term gain. I'm not going to have the ability to have Wi-Fi while I'm traveling. So I'm creating everything now so the system is in place and flowing, and therefore duplication can take place and people don't have to go out and create all this stuff. They can leverage what I've created.
Yeah. So your whole team will have a login to that, will they? Or you, because here's the thing, right? Mark will create things that I ask him to do, okay? But he creates them in a way that he knows how to do, right? And because I don't physically know how to do those things, I can't create them in the way that I would create them. I can only create them with direction on how someone else will create them. So this is slightly different. So it takes a bit of tweaking and stuff. And there's also areas where I don't know anything about, so I'm probably not the best person to make the decision anyway, right? So I think that we can streamline it in a way where there's a contributory factor so that Noble Goldman can truly be a mastermind generated content from the leaders rather than a leader, right? Yeah. Because currently I said to Mark, it's like, Mark, I got 27 videos, bro. I was like, I can make one in 25 minutes and have it up there on the site. What are you doing with all these other videos? Like, it's like, what's that about? Some of them 7, 8 months old. Like, they're not even relevant anymore. He's like, Lloyd, with all due respect, some people don't necessarily resonate with the way that you communicate, who are also members, leaders in the community, and they don't really think that all the training videos should come from one direction and one intention and one focus and one sort of mindset, as it were, right? It has to be something collaborative, and it has to make sense in a structure so you can actually choose who you get your information from with the people that you resonate with. So kind of like presenters, yeah, right? So you can choose Lloyd and Christo's training, or you can choose Martin's training, or you can choose Walter's training, or you can choose Declan's training, or you can choose whoever, right? Whoever presents themselves. And so I think that's going to have a lot more value, to be fair. Well, it's going to take more time to get it ready. And I'm like, just get it up there.
Yeah.
but I am appreciating that you know, you don't want to blow too many people out of the water, you know. But I think what we're teaching is pretty basic, and it's what everybody should know. Whether they do it or not, it's not important. They should at least know it and have it up there on the site. But then again, I'm coming at it from a network marketing sort of mindset, you know, to a certain extent. So,
and like, even I've recorded some videos, literally edited them today, and I made them. I don't even introduce myself. There's nothing of my branding. There's just Noble Goldman crown in the corner, knowing that people can use them if they want to. But I've not even uploaded them yet. They're just there, but I've got unique ways that I'm going to use them, and naturally, once I've tested it, I'll be able to say, this is what's working for me. This is how I did it. You can use them or create your own or whatever you want to do. The same as with the, the audio I did. I don't even use it, but I just did it to see, can I get Edify Noble Goldman in a minute? And I did. Okay, cool. Next. But I'm not using it because at the moment, I'm not going to people and building. I'm just testing and finding out what's going in regards to, okay, well, these people are coming through. They've come in as free members. Now then, they're sat there, they can jump on the masterminds. But really, then my next focus is, okay, how do I get all these free members now into becoming a gold star through email sequences? Because they're in my email CRM in the back office. So how can I do that? Because they might not be ready yet, but if they're getting regular emails, one a week or something like that, that's actually giving them value, at some point they'll upgrade. They'll be in the right space. And this is all the stuff that I'm in the process of creating. And once I've created the videos that I've done now, I'm like, right, what's the next stage? Well, the next stage for me is the 3 in-depth videos for each part of, or 4, with however, the 4-step process of Noble Goldman. For me, knowing that these people who are coming through, they're resonating with me. If I'm running paid ads, they're liking me, and therefore I can tell them what it all is. I'm speaking that language, and that therefore they're going to get me. I'm going to be the person to go to, and that's the way that I'm going to build it and see how it works for me. But also knowing as well, Lloyd, that doesn't duplicate unless they are quality leaders. Does that make sense? That's where I'm going. I can show you how to run a Facebook advert or anything. It's easy, but it's easy when you know how to do it. I don't enjoy doing it. I enjoy making the videos and having the follow-up lead conversations, but I don't enjoy all the process back office with all the numbers and all that shit. That isn't me. So, but the key is, if I don't get up and get in front of the camera and do the talking and show up on the masterminds, the business doesn't grow. I am the front end for me.
Yeah, for sure. You're the value proposition almost.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
And that's it's like, I had a situation today with Liza where she's built rapport with somebody who was in my Noble Goldman lead seat, and I was like, you can have him. I actually already had felt a negative energy from him. And I felt this resistance. Then Liza says, oh, I'd love to work with him. I'm like, cool.
Is that Anthony, is it?
No, James, I think. James Summit. And
yeah, that Anthony guy is some talker, eh? Holy moly.
Is he Australian?
Yeah, Anthony Serby.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. But so he's in like, well, and I learned this from Grant Cardone. You can go and buy the same thing or go with somebody else in any other company and get the same product, but you don't get me. And that's what you're getting. You're getting me. And I guarantee there's nobody who works like I do. There's no one who will be there for you like I do. And I don't say that from an ego place. I just know my value and I know what I bring to the table. So with that level of confidence and posture, not arrogance, just confidence and belief in self, and knowing that I'll find a way or I'll connect you with the person that's going to help you move on, even if that's not in Noble Goldman or in Agic or whatever it is, I'll get you a result. Just trust in it. It's going to happen. And that's the key. I've just got another message. I'm going to have to wrap this up.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. I like that 4 rooms. I don't know where you got the idea of a room from, but I like it anyway.
Well, I'll show you. I'll show you this, Lloyd, so you can see what I could, just briefly, just quickly before I go. But what I did was, as part of my, and I'm going to actually create this into a video so it can go into Noble Goldman so people can see it and learn from it. But I basically, I'm just going to share it with you now. Just have to find the slide. I basically created this. Right the way through the center is the corridor, and each white dot is a room off the corridor.
It's not other.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Abundance alignment tool, gratitude journal, education, masterminds. Then you're into the gold paid section. Affiliate link, more masterminds, success program, prospecting, leadership, cash flow, multiple sources, MSI upload.
Wow, I like that.
So that's.
What's the one before that?
Pardon?
You've got a slide before that, haven't you?
Oh, there's, it goes all the way through. So.
Wow.
Helping everyday people. Some of this is from what you guys have created.
And are you going to make that available to everyone, or what's the story there?
Yeah. So I just threw it together and was like, but once again, I've been testing it. That takes me 50.
Well, like, this is it. Like what we're providing to people, we literally made it up and then delivered it as if it's something concrete in reality, right? This is what we're doing. We're going this direction, come along. And it worked. You see, that's the sort of energy that I have. So what it seems like is that you have the skills that Christo has in terms of creating things that look nice. And then you also have what I have in terms of the masterminding of things. So it's quite interesting because many times I've sat down and I'm like, if I could just do what Christo could do, I wouldn't need to wait for Christo to be available, and I could just do all this already. I would have had it done months ago.
Do you know what? And that's the reason I went and learned it, bro.
No, I know, man, I know. But that's putting us in the S quadrant of the cash flow quadrant. And it's creating a lot of work for ourselves. That's not the way forward. But
I just went, my attitude to everything is if somebody else can do it, I can do it. I've just got to find a way. Now I love creation. I love creating the slides, and that actually fills my cup. And then when I deliver it, it's got my energy behind it, my energy now emitting it out to everybody. So it works really well. Do you know what? I have to say, even as somebody delivering it, everything I've put together is such a high level. And people have said, wow, you know, that you can tell coming in as an outsider that it is professional. So this is where it then goes to the point of when you meet me on the outside and I'm telling you about this and you come into a mastermind, you go for the presentation like this guy's organized, and then you go to NG, what's the experience? Does it flow? And that's why I said to Mark.
Yeah, okay. I see what's happening. Yeah.
That's why I said to Mark, there's not a flow. And I can't, because the problem is I have this good flow, and the second it gets to NG, with all due respect, it stops. So this is where like I've said, I'm not going to go to people and talk. Sorry.
What I say to my new members is, don't watch any video on the website. Not one. The only thing I want you to do is to go to the free members Google Drive folder, watch the video on how to fill out your profile, start logging time, and come to our mastermind. That's it. Do not do a single other thing. Start logging your time, use the tool for what it's made for.
Yeah.
Then we go through the 4 sections: core values, worthy goals, taking action, and accountability. Taking action means the productivity part and moving towards making a decision. We have a call to action on every one. They're 45 minutes long, 5 minutes how to show them how to upgrade as a gold star, and 10 minutes for them to do it. And they start the next call, goal start next hour. And the last one, accountability, is basically just telling them why they should be doing the 90-day program as a goal start. So it's just like, literally, this is what you're here for. Once you have some clarity, get on with it. And then on the next call, here's how you actually become someone that other people want to follow. Develop the daily method of operation. Follow this. You will start to develop, get 1% better over 90 days, and you're 90% there. Job done. We'd have 12 gold stars in 90 days, and then let's show them how to do it and chill.
Yeah.
Like, literally, that's been my mindset. So if anytime anyone goes to the website, they come back going, oh man, I'm like really stressed out and I'm confused and I don't know what to do. There's a lot of information. I'm like, there's almost no information on my phone, right? Almost nothing. Just, this is why you're here. This is what you get. This is how it works. This is what it solves. Get on with it. That's it.
Yeah.
Now, the personal development aspect is somewhat absent from that conversation, but that's what I want to introduce back in again, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't want to be just telling people how to do stuff. You know, I got better things to do. Like, I'd like to actually connect.
Yeah.
But I don't want to listen to sob stories either. Because I'm not like in the compassion fatigue and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Anyway, look, I really like what you showed me there, and I would love to, if you're open to it, have access to it so I can work my way through it and try and see how. I like the way it's structured because it'll inform the way that I explain it, I think, if you're open to it.
Yeah, totally. Everything I'm creating, I'm going to be giving people access to. Well, as I've said to Ricky and the guys and stuff, I'm always tweaking and figuring out. And I said to Ricky today, I'm actually going to create pretty much what I said to you, the 3 rooms, and I'm going to deliver it in no longer than 5 minutes. And that way, and that's going to explain what Noble Goldman is, because as great as that is, it still takes 15 minutes to get through all of the value to help people see, which isn't a problem because some people will be like, wow, that was amazing. But other people like 15 minutes, have you got something in 5? Well, yeah, I have. So it's always looking at, I mean, the videos I've done in 2.5 minutes, I believe they're incredible. But naturally, everyone needs to understand that they're only an overview. They are not.
And are they edited video, or are they like stream of consciousness straight off the bat video?
No, a lot. I basically these videos that I'm going to run as adverts or structured. They're actually scripted.
Well, they're scripted, yeah, but they're not. Are they edited as well, or do you do it in one go?
One go.
Yeah.
So I've done it in one go, and then what I've done is I've then gone and added like clips of different things in there, or you know, the titles over it, like the pay it forward system or whatever.
Yeah.
So it takes me a hell of a lot longer to edit them all. But you know, I could give it off to somebody to go and do it, but I actually enjoy that. And then I've got a result. So I'm like, there we go, right, it's ready to go now, rather than, oh mate, when are you gonna have this video done for me? Fuck no, just let me do it. But also when we're off traveling, we're going to be doing a YouTube channel all around traveling and so on. So I'll be editing videos and then uploading them and so on. So it's all good practice right now. But
I agree completely. And it's interesting, Martin, right? Because when I literally would like to be just left alone. Like I'm a very, very private person. So like I've been, you know, I was talking to Chris about this the other day. You know, I did 500 days of Facebook Live in a row in 500 days straight, right? A year, January 2019, I finished it. Okay. And people died. I was at funerals, like friends of mine. It was like fucking very intense every single day for 500 days, right? And I realized that, you know, from time to time I record a video now. And I'm like, I forget to upload it. I just really just don't care. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not interested in what the world sees, doesn't see, what they think, don't think. I'm like literally not interested. So I was thinking about making different YouTube stuff. I'm like, I just don't care enough. You know, it's really interesting. Like, I know other people want to see that because they're like, oh, well, then I want to do it. Maybe I can be free and I'm inspiring people. I'm finding it difficult recently to care enough to want to put in the effort or to be available to technology on a daily basis. You know what I mean? I kind of just want to disconnect altogether. It's an interesting one. I'm sort of playing with it at the moment. Maybe I need to read a bit more of this book and just keep it together, you know. And I'll come back to it. But anyway, maybe I just burnt myself out a little bit by putting myself through that ordeal. That's what it is. But, interesting. I think we're getting there, Martin. I think we're nearly there. I'd say December will be done with NG for in a day-to-day sort of grind type thing.
Oh, 100%. I know it will be. I know I said to Ricky by end of August we'll have some level of flow. So, but by the end of the year it'll be really cranking. Look, I'm gonna have to get going, mate, because my dinner was made at 40 minutes ago now, so I'm in trouble. Okay. But look, I appreciate your time, mate, your energy and that, and I'll definitely be touching base. And as I said, I just do my thing and create stuff, and it's not from a point of just being selfish or on my own. It's just the way that I am. But once I've created it, I give it to everybody when I know this is now working for me, rather than going, oh, here's version 2, here's version 3, here's version 4. Fucking hell, it's just like, let me test.
Oh yeah, I mean, we adapt everything every time we do it. So every presentation we've done is slightly different because we're just testing out and what will work, what won't. Yeah. But yeah, whenever you're ready, you can send it over. Really, I'm not going to actually use it word for word. I'm going to use it to inform the way that I explain it rather than using it physically on screen, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You know? Not a problem, mate. Not a problem at all. All good.
All right, I got to go as well. So
thanks, mate. Take care, Lloyd.
Thanks.
Enjoy the rest of your holiday, bro.
Good. Bye-bye.